Hello and welcome back to another episode of Math with Sohn. Today we're going to be doing some angles in quadrilaterals, which is not as bad as some of the other things we've had to do. So the one thing you have to know about angles in a quadrilateral is no matter how many things you deal with, whatever shape you got, if it is a four-sided shape, it has to have a total of 360 degrees. Okay? So it doesn't matter what it looks like, it would need to have a total of 360. Now, in some of these problems, we're going to use some other clues, but that's going to be the main idea. For number one, we have 100 here and 100 here. So total right now we have 200. And then 80, so between all three of these, I have 280 degrees. Well, if the entire thing has to equal 360, that means that we would just have 360 minus 280 to equal whatever's left. And if you do that, you end up with a 80 degrees for this final angle over here, angle W. Okay? And you could have also recognized that this might have been a parallelogram, and if parallelogram it is, the opposite angles are equal. 80, 80, 100, 100. All right? Well, what if it's not a parallelogram? What if it's something that looks like this, which might be a kite, but it looks a little funky to be a kite. These two sides right here don't actually look like they're equal. So in this case, I'm just going to be like, well, 65 plus 87 plus 110 plus this missing angle would have to equal 360. So this is the equation setup. And if you do that, you combine all your like terms. We would add up the 65, and we would add up the 87, and we'd add up the 110, and you get 259 plus that missing angle is equal to 360. So when we subtract the 259 from 360, you end up with an angle of 101 when we subtract the 259. Whew, that's some bad handwriting. 101 degrees. All right? And they don't get much harder after that, everybody. Let's say we have here on number 4, see how you got 1, 2, 3 right angles? So each right angle represents 90 degrees. And I'll give you one guess what this fourth one's also going to be a right angle, because if you have 3 right angles in a quadrilateral, the fourth one's going to have to equal 90 to be able to add, guess what, to 360 degrees. Okay? 5 is in fact a kite, but that doesn't mean that this angle here and that angle there are going to equal each other. It is true for parallelograms, but for kites, the only two angles that are going to equal are the ones that are across from each other. But that doesn't change what we have to do. We have to add up all 3 of the angles that you have with your missing one to equal 360. Which in some cases you're realizing you could just subtract the 96 and the 96 and the 68 from 360. And that's what I'm going to do. Minus 96, minus 96, minus 68. You get 100 degrees for this last angle. So if we solve that equation, we get 100 degrees. And I did want to do that one because it proves that these two are not equal on a kite, but the opposite parts are like the opposite edges, the sides, the arms of the kite would be equal. Okay? So let's do a little bit of a harder problem. In this problem, we have 3 angles provided, and the third angle is not just a blank, it's an 11x minus 2. So in these problems, you have to set up your equation. So we have to do the 86 with the 94, with the 94, and the 11x minus 2 to equal the 360. So you add up everything. You put a plus sign in between every single angle and the thing that's missing, and then you combine all terms. So we got 86 and 94 and 94. And negative 2. Those are all like terms. So 86, 94, 94, and negative 2. 86 plus the 94 plus the 94 plus the negative 2 ends up equaling 272. So we have 272 plus the 11x is equal to 360. Then we would subtract the 272 from both sides, minus 272. Minus 272, we get 11x is equal to 360 minus 272, ends up equaling a 88. And then you just divide by 11 and you get x is equal to 8 degrees. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy if you need to find x, which is what a lot of these will require you to do. And in some cases, you will not only have to find x, but you'll have like maybe what we have like here on number 12, you'll have two different angles that have an x. So I'm betting that there's a chance that these equal 90, but maybe they're not. We don't really know for certain. So I cannot just set the 16x minus 6 equal to the 15x. We don't know that they equal each other. We don't know that they equal 90. They might, but we don't know. What we do know is that all four corners of a quadrilateral, or all four angles of a quadrilateral, have to equal, with added together, 360 degrees. Okay, so I have added 90 and 90, and the 16x minus 6, and the 15, added everything and equaled it to 360. We're going to combine like terms. If we add 90 and 90, these two together, with the negative 6, you end up with 174. Okay, 90 plus 90 and negative 6 makes the one that's 74. 16x, the 16x and the 15x, those combine to make 31x. Will equal 360 degrees. Okay, let's move the 174 over. If we do 360 minus 174, you end up with 31x is equal to 186. Divide by 31, divide by 31, divide by 31, and x will equal 6 degrees. Now I'm curious, because they really look like they equal 90, and if we do multiply 15 times 6, 15 times that 6 does in fact equal 90, but do not assume that it is always going to be what it looks like, okay? Never assume that, especially if they don't have angle markings and things like that, denoting that this in fact is a square or rectangle. We don't know for certain. All right, last one. We need to find the measure of the indicated angle, so I'm going to look and see which one do you think that, do I think that you would want to do the most, and I am betting that you want me to do number, I bet your teacher did 15, so I'm going to do number 16, okay? So sometimes the teachers do the odds. I'll do number 16, hoping that your teacher didn't do that and hoping that that's the one you're having an issue with. We add up 1, 2, 3, all four angles, excuse me, the 82, the 105, the 10x, and the 8x plus 11 to equal 360 degrees. Okay? Combine all like terms. So we have 82 and 105 and 11. 82, 105, and 11 are all the regular numbers without an x. So if we add 82 with 105 and 11, combining all those together, we get 198. 10x and 8x makes 18x. 82, 105, and 11 made 198. Equals 360 degrees. Let's subtract the 198 over. 198, subtract that over. 18x will equal 360 minus 198, ends up equaling 162. If we divide that by 18, we get x is equal to 9. The difference this time is that we're not done. X is equal to 9, technically 9 degrees, but we are asked to find angle F. Angle F would be 10 times x, which ends up equaling 10 times 9, which is 90 degrees. Okay? So, that's going to do it for this one. Until next time, everybody, stay positive, and I will see y'all later. Bye, friends.